Come see this thing 1558, focus on FEMA, Project Ukraine's Gate, Cockroaches fighting roaches. This is a series where I summarize rantatonne posts made up of at least 3 things I've read, seen, or heard. First question, is FEMA successful at failing? I'm increasingly pointing out how the horseshoe theory applies to the spectrum of statists, with those on the right having the warfare state, whereas those on the left have the welfare state. When it comes to the private sector, there's a military-industrial complex that gets fat from the policy that politicians use to court the right, and on the other end, it's a non-profit charity racket still working on the name of that does the same from the left. There's a public-private relationship, partnership of sorts going on in these kind of fields. There's a public-private partnership with things like this, like you see with the fire aid that's featured in this video, where some celebrities raised up to $100 million to go to people who lost their homes in the LA fire who haven't seen any of this money. But as you see from the Adam Carolla video going out and showing 6 months later, there's also very little going on from the public sector. And here in the bluest of cities, in the bluest of states, and probably the bluest of areas of those cities, you're not going to get much pushback because people on the left think when there's a problem with the state, when there's a failure like this, it's due to not enough resources. And the people on the right say, oh, it's the wrong people in there. And this just creates a system with this constant ratcheting up from the left, needing more resources, more programs. And then the right comes in and says, okay, since we have these programs already, we're not going to tear them down. We're going to create a new foundation where this is a basic. And now we just need to shuffle the people around who are controlling these things. So whether you're dealing in the private sector that's influenced and controlled by state regulations and other shenanigans, or directly with the state like you have in FEMA, which is highlighted in the Human Action podcast here, you're going to have frustrations because the welfare state is a jobs program for people on the left, not about actually helping people. Next question, could Russia be part of plans for Project Ukraine? Ukraine, probably being one of the most corrupt countries in Europe, probably made it a really good target for the Project Ukraine Afghanistization. Is it Afghanistization? Afghanistization of Ukraine. And in this section, the first of 2 Duran videos brings up the question, or brings up the point, that with the people involved with Russiagate, with the Russian collusion and trying to frame Trump in that way, they were also the same people who were involved with planning Project Ukraine as it headed up to the time. And then him coming in was like, okay, he's not in on the plan. We need Hillary in there. So we need to do something to make sure there's no like detente between the USA and Russia and have them actually smooth out and have some cordial sort of relationship. So let's do this whole collusion thing. Regardless of all that, if Ukraine was as corrupt as it was during times of relative peace and stability, what do you think the situation there is going to be during this invasion and the instability caused by that? Seems like before the welfare state takes over majority control of this, the bonanza for the warfare state is ending and they want to get their last bite in, with Germany giving them these weapons that they say are not Taurus missiles, which at the very least expose that whatever it takes thing from the past as a lie, because if you truly believed Russia was going to take over Europe, it would be completely defensible to give them Taurus missiles and a lot more. Last question, could international crime be stopped without the states? In this section, Mark Robert, who I've posted before with his glitter bombs going over those degenerate porch pirates, tracks down the people in India doing the phone scams, and with some other people, some other compatriots, takes him down. Without states, there would still be a demand for security, and the market would provide. If anything, states provide the means for criminals to commit certain crimes that wouldn't exist in a free market. And if that's the case, law enforcement agencies ran by the state have less incentive to actually expose these things. And on that topic, if Trump administration is not going to release the details on who actually bombed the Nord Stream pipeline, maybe we should get Mark Robert on it.